Welcome on in, everybody. My name is Dan C., trusted teacher for all things beard related. I have an awesome guest, a really good friend of mine, Jake Rancourt over here. Jake, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, this video comes about because of one of the most popular questions I get, and that is, how do I do a handlebar mustache? How do I style it? How do I trim it? How do I train it? All of that information. And I don't know that answer because I don't do that with my mustache. I've dabbled here or there and I just didn't like it. I wasn't good enough at it. Whatever the case may be, when I'm asked a question, I try to find the answer if I don't know. So I found an expert. And so we're going to get into this here. So first off, Jake, tell them a quick little bit about yourself. Interesting thing I'm going to add in that he may not say is he's a stand-up comedian, which is pretty cool. He tours kind of around where we are, and I'm sure beyond that, but is known for his comedy, so pretty awesome. So tell him a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I am a comedian. I'm not a very good one since you haven't ever seen me.
Yet.
But yeah, that's my day job. Well, not my day job, my wannabe day job, but yep, got a family, got 2 kids. That's kind of, I ran into you at the regular day job.
Yeah. So regular day job, I was going to buy a phone and I was working with somebody else and Jake was the manager and a guy came over, Jake, and he was like, "What's your first name?" I was like, "Dan." He was like, "I've been watching your videos."
Yep,
and then we got buddies in the area that hang out, so I invited him out and we've hung out ever since and just became a part of the group and just a pretty awesome group of guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm going to have to get all of them in on a video some way. So we're going to hit the intro, then we'll come back and we'll break all the information down for you, everything you need to know for a handlebar mustache. The first part of getting that legendary handlebar mustache is training and trimming. Before you can get to the styling and waxing, you got to be able to get that mustache to a point where it really matters. So Jake, break it down for the people with the process and any tips for training and trimming to get your mustache to be able to handlebar.
All right, so first, when I first started doing the mustache, I actually let the sides grow a little bit.
Okay.
Until they started going out to just a little bit of a point. And then I would actually add just a little bit of wax to that, but I would trim right here just to keep it out of my way, just so it wasn't as much of a hassle.
So right kind of where the mustache meets in the middle?
I actually went right to about where the nostril area is and then just let the rest grow out until I could kind of twist it up just enough and wax that up.
Okay. Now, did you trim in like a V motion? So you cleared it right here?
That's
what I
thought. Go into a little bit of a V to kind of open that up and kind of help shape it with just the hairs there and then let that go out into the mustache.
Okay. And then you're starting with the wax to start training it, start going. Now, is this a one and done? You set it in the morning with the wax, or are you throughout the day kind of playing with it, the early stages?
In the beginning, you really want to go with a light to medium wax and actually go ahead and put a little bit of that in there, and it's not uncommon because it is going to kind of move on you in your training to add a little bit to it. And I always recommend just putting a little bit on your finger when you're going to touch it, because anytime you do, you're going to pull the wax off.
Interesting.
So a lot of people, they have problems with the handlebar because they're always messing with it, and then eventually all the wax is gone.
It loses its shape. Okay, interesting. And that's what I thought. So training it, you probably want a little bit of a lighter to medium wax as opposed to that extra firm. Okay. Training. What about trimming? Got that? Are we leaving the sides alone right now?
Yes. So you want to leave the sides alone and really let them get to a nice length until where you really want your curve at. And then once you do that, what I always recommend in trimming is actually styling your mustache and then trimming the ends as you go. And I always say less is more. Always do just a little trim and then kind of reposition and then do more, because otherwise you're chasing it. Yeah. And you end up just hacking down the mustache. Yeah, I've made that mistake.
For me, I keep mine kind of at this like walrus natural mustache, but one of the hardest things is to get it even on both sides. The best method I've found for trimming is measuring with my fingers, pulling out at the same time to the side. Is that what you do, or is there any extra?
Absolutely, yeah. So that is exactly how I would do it, is I would actually use the hand and then use that as kind of like a gauge to do it. And now that it's at this point, I can basically get one side to where it's at and then kind of judge from that. So you get the one side perfect and match to it.
perfect, rather than, like you said, chasing that perfect trim, because guys do that with their beard. They'll go a little bit, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. Next thing you know, you're shaving.
You're gone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Training and trimming early on, then even into the later stages, and that matches my advice for a beard. This is where I and a couple other people differ. I firmly believe you should trim from the way you wear it. You should style your beard. You should style your mustache. Trim from there, because that's how you're going to wear it. That only just makes sense to me.
Absolutely. I've made that mistake of trying to do it down, and it just turned into a nightmare.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah. All right. Those are checked. Now we're going to come back with the ever important styling of a full-blown handlebar mustache. Styling and waxing a full-blown handlebar mustache to whatever level you want it. I mean, yours is pretty long. I mean, when yours curls, it can darn near come back and touch itself.
Yeah, it actually can go right up into the eye. It's bad.
And we would accept any, I mean, if you chopped off a bit here, you would still say, wow, that's a really cool handlebar mustache. So his is going extreme, but this is for anybody out there. Next up after this, we're going to have a video with a little bit of music to the background where Jake actually shows us how he styles his mustache. But first, he's going to break it down step by step what he does to get that mustache handlebar ready.
All right, so for me, the first thing is I use a heavier mustache wax. So you make sure it's heated, and then you're going to get a little bit out onto your finger and do one side at a time and start with the base. And you're going to go right into here, and you're going to actually pull it all the way through by twisting a little bit, but not a lot. A lot of people will go the full twist, and that's where you start to run into where it's going this way or this way, and then you're trying to fight each side. So in the very beginning, just run it through, going back and forth, not a full twist.
And you're twisting away from your face.
Away from your face. Yeah, you always want to do away from your face, otherwise it starts to curl back and go this way. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so, that makes sense.
Yeah, make sure you're going just a little bit here and there, and then once you get it out, you see it's all in there, then you actually come in and do the curl, and then you can make your adjustments from there.
Okay. All right. So going out, then up here, is there any difference on the actual tips of the handlebar?
You're going to get to the point where it does try to fray a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
And once you have it all curled up, that's when you can kind of do your final touches and stuff, once you get it curled up about where you want it.
Okay.
And then you're just going to make sure, again, grab a little bit extra wax if you need it, and then just run it through that last little bit to kind of get the ends where they need to be.
So with a new house, I've dabbled with some electrical, and you get all the wires in there. You know, when you cut off the rubber part and you got to get it inside of something else, whether it's an outlet. Similar process there, just getting those all in line.
Exactly.
That's what it reminds me of.
Just kind of running that together, and again, just not a massive twist, but just enough to do it. If it's trying to twist too much and unravel it, you need a little bit more wax.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So from the middle, twisting out, working your way up, and then finishing, and probably a little bit extra on the end there. A little bit
extra on the end most often.
Firm wax to get that done. We'll talk about a recommendation on the final thoughts from Jake of his experiences with different mustache waxes. So next, you're going to see the video here, no talking, see the exact steps of Jake going from the natural mustache to the styling. And with that, you do this every day, regardless if you're going out or not, for convenience, right?
Yes. I'll be sitting at home, and that's the other thing. Don't get too upset if your mustache doesn't train after a long time. I've had this for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And still, when it's completely washed, it falls straight down.
Yeah.
It doesn't even really part much in the middle. So that's another thing. Don't get discouraged by that. Just...
Once you reach a certain length, it's not going to exactly train. I mean, once I keep it here because any longer, it doesn't train and sit natural. And that's like with my beard. Guys will say like, oh man, in the morning my beard looks like a mess. Yeah, it's going to. Right? Yep. Your routine's going to last a day. So yeah, Jake does it for eating purposes, for just functioning. He said you'll catch him at his house. He'll be in his pajamas watching TV, and he's got his mustache all handlebarred up.
Yep, full pajamas. Hey, UPS guy, what's going on? No big deal. Just hanging out in my pajamas with a fully done mustache.
Too funny, too funny. All right, so check this video out for Jake, and we'll come back for some final thoughts at the end. You guys will be able to ask any questions. Jake will log on, check and comment all there. So watch his routine right here with a nice little beat in the background. All right, final thoughts, conclusions here. How to achieve the handlebar mustache. One thing from me is if it fits your personality and you want to go for it, go for it. For me, it just doesn't work. I love my natural mustache, but man, I have an appreciation. We've gone to some beard shows and competitions lately, and we'll see some of these amazing full beards with mustaches, no beards with mustaches, and they all just look super cool. I think it adds such a little personality to the look and just brings a lot to it. So for me, I think it's an awesome touch if it's something that you feel fits your personality here. So big question for you. Everybody would comment this. I, again, have no experience with this. I've tried. I just don't like them. What is your go-to? Because how long have you had a handlebar mustache?
On and off for probably about 7 years.
Yeah.
About 6 years straight. I did it for a little bit before that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it was full 6 years, especially with the full stash all the way from here out.
Awesome. So years and years and years and years of experience. What is your go-to mustache wax? Or if you have several, what are your preferred ones? Or is it just one? What do you got?
Actually, I have a couple. One of them you turned me on to was actually the Black Rebel Beard Co. They have a good one. It's a good medium to higher hold.
Okay.
But like especially where we live, you know, if it gets a little hot in the summer, sometimes I like to go with the Can You Handlebar Secondary.
Okay.
Because when you get one this big, you really need something that's going to be a heavy hold. So
And that's what I've been telling people, and I keep hearing from you, the Can You Handlebar Secondary.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is secondary more firm than the first? Or what is their other one?
Yeah, there's a primary.
Primary, okay. All right. Duh, come on, teacher, jeez. All right, so primary is lighter hold,
Yes.
and secondary is that. Okay, any others out there? Is that really what you stick to?
Those are actually my two go-tos, really. Is the primary. I will actually use that one a little bit more during the
Okay.
winter because I don't need as much of a heavier hold because
Okay.
the sun's not going to melt it or anything like
Interesting,
that. I won't
okay.
have to mess with it.
That makes sense.
But during the summer, secondary, and then also Black Rebel Beard Co.
Okay. Quick question, do you have ever a midday routine? Do you ever have to reset it, go through it again because of any situations, or not really? You're pretty set for the day?
For the most part, it's usually okay. I
Okay.
say this part likes to fall a little bit, so that's when I'll just grab a little bit extra and just kind of throw it up in the middle. But the ends I try to leave alone. Once you kind of, it's like set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Once you've got those, you should be okay. A little bit of touch-ups, but not much for
Okay.
that. The middle will need it, so don't be surprised if when you're doing that,
Yeah.
you do have to do that in the beginning for
That
sure.
makes sense because there's a little more body there, a little bit more
Yeah.
more substance to it. Okay. Any final thoughts, recommendation, advice? People, if they're watching this video, especially after the first day or so, they're looking for advice on a handlebar mustache. They're seeing someone that is got their goal mustache. Any final recommendation, advice for them?
So I would say make sure you go with a heavier wax. I made the mistake of going with a lighter wax at
Okay.
first, and it did kind of make me almost give up because it just kept falling. I thought, wow, my mustache just won't be able to handle a handlebar mustache. And once you go with a heavier mustache, or if you're actually finding yourself having to mess with it a lot through the day or reposition it, you're probably not using one that has enough hold.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to try out some other ones, and also make sure that you're just trying something with a lot of hold and don't give up on it.
Okay. All right. Keep it going if that's the look you want. I will put his information down. You want to tell the people your Instagram if they want to reach out?
Yep, I'm actually Rancourt Jake on Instagram. Feel free, if any questions or anything at all, want to just follow up, I can definitely answer any of your questions.
Yeah, and he's
No
been
problem.
great. I've actually directed a few people to him in the very recent past and said, I don't know, but here's my buddy. Check him out. And
Absolutely,
so,
yep, I've definitely tried to help a few.
yeah, and if you're ever in the live stream, guys, Jake's one of our moderators there, and we're about to go hit B-dubs after this and get a bunch of sauce all up in this mustache and that mustache. So
too, yep.
that's just part of the game. So, man, sincerely, thank you so much, Jake, for this video. It's something that I was not going to be able to give the best level of advice, and he covered everything exactly like I was hoping for. So thank you once again.
Hey, thanks for having me out. I'm really glad to actually be on here and help out with any questions I can handle.
Awesome. And if you guys have any other questions, we can make a part 2 at any time. Leave questions down below, comments down below, anything at all, guys, open forum. And I really hope you enjoy this and you learn something. As always, guys, stay bearded, stay mustached, and stay positive.